Oh, these carrots are divine. You get a dozen for a dime. It's magic. Boom, boom. Get the specs a little wiped down. I'm going low shopping a little bit later. Might get some more shotties. Good morning. It's magic. Today is a big day. Big day. Boom. Good morning, people. Dun, 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 dun. Good morning, good morning. He said they killing Dame Dollar. Dame Dollar is like a lot of the guards that you see in the NBA today. If they're not hitting that three, they implode. He was 0 for 6 from 3. These niggas don't got them that dribble package that they can use to get to the basket like Kyrie. You very rarely see Kyrie go through a shooting slump like that. You know why? Because Kyrie can get a layup. Kyrie start boogieing, twisting and turning and spinning. And he gonna get to the bucket or he gonna get to the foul line. You ain't gonna see Kyrie in one of those situations and shit. Kyrie can have a bad game, but he ain't gonna shoot like that. A lot of them dudes, man, if they don't hit their first couple of threes, they get frustrated, man, and they just self-destruct. So that's what you seen happen to Dame Dollar and shit. And this is like, it's crazy because the little guards is the ones who, they more shifty and shit. They don't have to carry a lot of weight, so he should be able to get to the bucket. Unfortunately, it's not the case. Good morning, everybody. He said he had a terrible game. Ja was cooking. Did y'all see that alley Ja threw from the floor? He was on his ass. That alley-oop, that was crazy. Make sure y'all go to the website, man. Get you some of these masterpieces and shit. My man hit me up. He like, yo, man, you running a master class on merchandising online. The PA Knits is going crazy. He like, man, I be seeing them everywhere and shit. My man in the airport taking pictures with strangers like, yo, is that a PA Knit? Yeah, man. See, you got the buckle on it. That's how you spot the knittage. That knob. He said, what's the topic? There's a title on this video. Before you got here, I know you looked at it. This is something that everybody is discussing. Before I get started, I want y'all to go check out that new video that I uploaded from Diamond D. It's called Lay Me Down, featuring Inspector Deck and Shaheen. It's dope as fuck. I'm the only one with that joint. They probably go to Vivo and all that shit later on today, but the Dribble got it first. Is the hoodie on there? I got a ton of them joints. I got a ton of them joints. I'm talking about shit like this. You talking about these joints with the hood? Is this what you talking about? With the knittage to match? Is this what you talking about? Yeah, they over there, man. Make sure you go to the PA Knit website. pa-knit.com. pa-knit.com. Good morning. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel as y'all come in here. He said, you want to see another one? I got more. know Miguel watching up there in Harlem. Curtis Baker. Look at that. Look at that fly shit, yo. Go to the website, man. PA-KNIT.com. I'm in here packing bags early and shit. About to put some shit in the mail for y'all who ordered overnight. But anyway, Fannie fumbled the ball. Fannie Willis tried to make a name for herself as a tough on crime prosecutor down in Fulton County in Georgia. And as you seen yesterday, Young Thug is released after changing his plea to guilty in Georgia's longest running criminal trial. All kind of shit was going on. They got tired. When you got money, you can put up a fight. And they wore him down. This was a state case, though, a state RICO. This wasn't a federal joint. The federal system, they got a starting 5 prosecutors, like a basketball team. They got a starting 5. You run through them prosecutors, they got a 6-man for your ass. They got 7, 8, 9, 10 niggas coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Young Thug's, I think his name was Bruce something. Young Thug's attorney got him up out of here, man. He got him a plea. He said, can the feds pick it up? I think they can. He says she did not fumble the case. She got a conviction with 40 years attached to it. She did fumble the case. That's not what she went for. She didn't pursue YSL and the YFN organization. She didn't pursue them guys for them guys to walk home and shit. She was trying to put them niggas away. This ain't what she wanted. She fumbled the case by getting in trouble herself. And during the course of this trial, the media attention and the irony was placed upon her shoulders and shit. Donald Trump was talking about her. She got in some trouble with some inappropriate behavior with one of her staffers. A lot of shit went wrong. The first judge that was on the case, he had to resign. They had to give him another judge. A whole lot of shit. There was chaos at the Fulton County Jail. All type of people that was on the staff, administration, getting caught bringing drugs in. It was a big circus. They got tired. They said, man, can we talk about this? Thug made a joke of the judicial system, straight play games in their face and going home. That's how I viewed it. You got witnesses who got on the stand. I forget the other little nigga name that was acting slow, who had the little braids in his hair. Him and Little Woody, they got on the stand and made a mockery of the prosecutors. They said one thing, got on the stand, got to acting slow and shit like that. So yeah, it wasn't gonna be a clear case of a conviction. It wasn't gonna be like that. So in order for them to secure a conviction, they offered him a plea bargain. Atlanta rap star Young Thug was released from jail Thursday night after changing his plea to guilty earlier that day in Georgia's longest-running criminal trial. He averted prison time with probation, bringing a stunning close to a chapter of a case that has riveted court watchers for nearly 2 years. Them niggas was in court so long, people stopped watching that shit. We started to just watch updates. When they first went to trial, I was covering it every day and shit. It just became too much. He said Tick. That's his name, Tick. Tick. The plea changed by the rapper, whose real name is Jeffrey Lamar Williams, appeared on the brink of not happening after Superior Court Judge Paige Whitaker asked if he agreed to a non-negotiated plea. That means prosecutors and the defense could not come to a sentencing deal, and that the judge would ultimately decide his punishment. The parties returned after a brief recess, and Young Thug agreed to plead guilty to drug and gun-related charges and no contest to charges of running and participating in a street gang. The serious charge that they was after his ass for, the murder of that dude Nut, now, I don't know if Young Thug is disciplined enough to get out on probation, and 15 years is a long time. He probably gonna do good parts of that in jail. Whitaker sentenced him to 40 years that would have forced him to serve 5 years in prison, but she commuted it to time served. In addition, he must complete 15 years of probation, which can result in 20 years to be served in custody if probation is not successful. They did to him, essentially, it's a magic trick. They do this in Pennsylvania all the time. They did it to me when I was a young nigga. They give you a plea, they send you home. They know damn well that you're not gonna be able to comply with the terms of probation and parole for over a decade. This almost not possible. You gotta just the chances of him not going to jail and doing that 20 years to be served in custody if probation is not successful, the chance of him not going, I think it's low. He said, just like Meek. Meek is from Pennsylvania, just like me. They've been doing it for years. Georgia did it to him. They know that if he miss a appointment, if he come with too many dirty urines and shit like that, if he's caught with another felon, if he catch a case, drive without a license, anything like that, they can ultimately get their 2 decades up out of him. That's probably what will end up happening if he don't change his life. Me, I've seen some niggas walk off probation. I couldn't do it. I've seen niggas walk off probation, but that's a long time considering his lifestyle. Considering his lifestyle, it's a long time. The stipulations on his probation are insane. They know that, and they know that the stipulations will lead him back to prison. So in a slick, a roundabout way, they basically saying, you gotta wait today. We're gonna send you home today, but you going to jail in a couple years, and we know this. Do you have extra large PA knits? I have big head. These are made out of cotton. Cotton and polyester blend, they stretch. If you have dreadlocks, I have joints on the site that specify dread design. Aside from that, nigga, your head ain't too big. He said Wallow was doing it, but that nigga is different. Wallow got 20 to 40. If he did 20 on the front, that means he got 20 on the back. I don't know how long he been home. Let's say he been home like 10 years, which would leave him with 10 left. If your life already situated, you're not using any drugs, you disciplined and shit like that, the parole agents will basically tell you, hey, stay out of trouble. You come in and see us once a year, or you come in and see us every 6 months or some shit. We not even gonna fuck with you. You gainfully employed, going about your business. It ain't the older dudes ain't who they be tripping off of on probation and parole. It's not. It be young niggas. They be on them young niggas' ass. They know that an older cat got a little bit more discipline and shit. Young niggas, they just gotta be in a club. They just gotta be in a club. The level of peer pressure is a little bit greater, and they know that. But somebody like Wallow, who got his dribble right, they watching him. State parole, they watching him. They know whatever he doing and shit. They like, oh, you cool, man. Just stay out of trouble. Don't catch any cases. He probably have to report like once a year. It's almost like not even being on probation and shit. And then when he report, he might not even have to go in. He might just have to call and shit. It get like that. You can work your way up to that if you're not getting in any trouble. In Pennsylvania, they got something that you'll go home with when you get parole, and it's called I think it's called early failure. They will put that in your file. Like I was a early failure case and shit. Like when you leave to go home, they'll say, they'll put a little, a little red flag in your file. This is an early failure case. Why? Because Jamil Lindsay is known to abscond. He's known to abscond. That means run. He got a history of running and shit like that. He probably ain't gonna do right. So when you got that type of tag on you and shit, you'll come home to an ankle monitor. You be like, damn, fam, I just did time and shit. Like, I'm on parole. Like, no, you go on the monitor. You got to come in the house at 7 o'clock, 7:30. They be putting you in the house before the sun still be up, and you got to be in the crib and shit like that. They do that type of shit to you when you an early failure situation. African Andy, thank you for your super chat. The best stipulation of his probation was that he can't go back to that area, Cleveland Avenue. He got to stick to that for 15 years, though. What's the chances of him sticking to that for 15 years and shit? It's hectic, but if he got discipline, he should just move. He should just move away from, the noise and shit. He got money. He's successful. Go, to your gated community, make music, take care of your family. He'll be all right. She put several restrictions on him, including bar and travel in the metro Atlanta area and no contact with affiliated gang members. And she said he must perform community service, including doing presentations to community groups and children against gang violence. There better be no violations. But if there are, you're coming back to see me, the judge said. Before she sentenced him, Young Thug told the courts he takes full responsibility for my crimes and charges, and said he now recognizes the power he holds in his South Atlanta neighborhood to set a better example. I know that what I bring to the table, and I know what I am, Young Thug said. I know the heights I've reached, and I know the impact I got on people in the community. Young Thug, 33, still a young nigga, has been jailed since his arrest May of 2022 on charges related to leading an alleged street gang, Young Slime Life, or YSL, with members accused of committing illegal and violent acts including murder, armed robbery, drug dealing, and carjacking. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis used Georgia's racketeering influence and corrupt organizations, or RICO, statute to claim Young Thug and his associates are a street gang with ties to the National Bloods gang. During Thursday's sentencing, Assistant District Attorney Adrian Love painted Young Thug as a central figure in the illegal acts, including allegations of murder, and cited his rap lyrics as promoting violence. Love asked the state to consider sentencing Young Thug to 45 years, with 25 years to be served in prison and 20 on probation. But Whitaker noted in her sentencing decision that prosecutors were earlier willing to let Young Thug get out on probation as part of a plea deal as long as he testified against his co-defendants. Young Thug's lawyer, Brian Steele did his thing the whole time, asked Whitaker to impose house arrest instead and said the state misunderstood the context of the rapper's lyrics and claiming they showed he was encouraging gang activity. They are in a tunnel vision to try and convict a man who should not be convicted, Steele said. Whitaker, during her sentencing, said she appreciated the impact Young Thug has had coming up from a community already plagued by violence, but if you choose to continue to rap, you need to try to use your influence to let kids know that that is not the way to go. There are ways out of poverty besides hooking up with the powerful guy at the end of the street selling drugs. I want you to be more of a solution and less of a problem. People don't understand sometimes jail save your life. Those restrictions are keeping him safe. If he comply with the terms of his probation, it probably will make him a better person. Have y'all seen Chief Keef speaking recently? Chief Keef just did an interview. He's a totally different person. He's a totally different person. He speaks, he's polite. He's a totally different person. I believe he understands, by looking at what happened to all of the niggas around him, that he's blessed and fortunate And he said that moving away from Chicago to Los Angeles helped him change his life. Detroit in the building. His lawyer can get him off with good behavior in 7 to 9 years. That's still a long time. The law, SB 105 in Georgia, allows you to terminate probation after 3 years if he has no issues. It's a new Georgia law. Chief Keef is a model of how to get out the way. Yak Gotti and Shannon Stillwell are still on trial. Yak Gotti is probably who the that case about Nut is probably gonna fall on his shoulders with Young Thug taking a plea. I'm pretty sure that they still want that conviction. The most high profile person in this case, they got away. That was Lucci and Young Thug. The rest of them niggas, they're gonna probably try to stick it to him. A string of plea deals plagued this case. The prosecution's agreement with Young Thug came after 3 co-defendants took plea deals this week following mounting speculation that Whitaker could order a mistrial. A lot of people was implying that this was going to end up as a mistrial. It was so much shit going on with the case that it could have ended up a mistrial, namely them having to switch judges in the middle of it, and the shit that was going on the stand with Tick and what's homeboy name? Little Woody. Initially, prosecutors named 27 co-defendants. The trial against Young Thug began with jury selection in January of 2023, and by the time opening statements started that November, after months of delays caused by some defendants taking pleas and others choosing to be tried separately, he was one of 6 co-defendants. Started out, it was 27 of them. By the end of that, it was 6 of them. Whitaker this week approved plea deals for 3 of them. Quamarvius Nichols, 29, Marquavius Huey, 28, and Rodalius Ryan, 18. The men faced multiple counts of various racketeering and gang-related charges, each potentially carrying prison sentence of 5 to 20 years, with all of them agreeing to plead guilty to racketeering conspiracy, with Huey also pleading guilty to other reduced charges. They accepted more lenient prison sentences with probation and time served. Ryan, however, will remain in prison on a life sentence for a 2019 murder, but his 10-year prison sentence in the RICO case has been commuted to time served. The trial is expected to resume against the 2 remaining co-defendants, Diamante Kendrick and Shannon Stillwell. Giving Young Thug's plea and into his part in the prosecution's sprawling case comes after nearly 2 years of a winding live stream trial. The original judge was recused from the trial in July after misconduct allegations by the defense and heated courtroom exchanges between various parties and a multitude of bizarre moments, including an alleged deputy smuggling contraband to a defendant and someone hacking the court Zoom to yell "Free Thug" have punctuated the sluggish proceedings. This case is kind of doomed from the start. It took them almost 7 months just to pick the jury and shit. You had the initial judge, he come to court, nigga got diamond earrings in his ear. It was a whole bunch of shit in this case that would make you think that this shit ain't gonna go right. They go on to list what led to the plea deals. The latest and most substantiated twist came as a result of prosecutorial misstep during testimony last week. A state witness, Wunny Lee, a rapper known as Slime Life Shorty, reviewed social media posts in front of the jury. He was inadvertently given an unredacted version of a post that referred to the hashtag Free Quad, which may apply to nicknames for Nichols or Huey. The post was redacted by the jury, but by Lee referring to Qua, prosecutors allowed the jury to presume that the co-defendants were in jail, a detail that is not supposed to be shared because it is considered prejudicial. The jury wasn't supposed to hear that type of information. We're not going to be able to unring this bell, Your Honor, Nicole Westmoreland, a lawyer for Nichols, said in asking for a mistrial. Whitaker has suggested she would consider a mistrial motion. In the midst, prosecutors and defense lawyers spent days hammering out plea deals. So had they not got their plea bargains out of this, it probably was going to end up being a mistrial. Based on the severity of the charges against Young Thug, they basically told him, yo, you want to go home this week? Hell yeah, I want to go home. I'm tired of this shit. So this is what they're going to do. Instead of them calling this mistrial, we're going to just go ahead and let you plead guilty and remove some of the more serious charges. And that way everybody gets something. How does that sound to you? I'm ready to go home. So that's what happened. Young Thug first gained mainstream success with his 2014 drug anthem, Stoner. He founded his own music label, YSL Records, in 2016 and has racked up 3 #1 albums on the Billboard chart, working with the likes of Travis Scott, Post Malone, Meek Mill, and Drake. In 2019, he won a Grammy for Song of the Year for co-writing Childish Gambino's This Is America. When Young Thug get out, without interference, he's going to be huge in music. He's going to be huge if he go back to doing music this year, or without them trying to complicate his recording process or trying to make him change his subject matter. If he come back to music, whatever he drop, it's going to be larger than life. Like, they had that song, Take Him to Trial. That song has gained steam now. There's people who have been motivated, and it's people who looked at this shit like, this nigga Teflon. Even though he took the plea, he's home. People can see him. So in some people's eyes, a lot of people's eyes, they're going to look at it like it's an unequivocal win. They all getting little to no time. The case got holes in it. Do you think they will monitor his lyrics heavily? Yeah, that's what I was saying. If they don't try any monkey shit like trying to violate his probation and parole because of something that he's about to say on a song, if you familiar with what's been going on with BG since he been home, I think, yeah, I don't know if they confined him or they gripped him up. They did grip him up at least once. It was about him fraternizing. That means spending time around somebody who's a felon. Basically going to do a song with another nigga who got felonies, that could be a violation of Young Thug's probation and parole. So he got to be mindful of that. If you're going to do a song with a nigga, you can't be in the same room with him. You have to have him emailing the tracks between producers and shit like that. And you can't do the music video. Well, you can. You just can't be on camera together. So Fannie blew this case from the jump, even though she didn't prosecute it herself, but picked her team, and they suck. When Donald Trump got on her ass, when the focus went from the defendants to a prosecutor, when it was made known that she was big time news as well, she was a top story as well, flipping that on her definitely affected this case. It definitely affected this case. It was just one of another of the blunders that happened, within this prosecution that would lead to a fucking mistrial. You got the prosecutor getting in trouble, Fannie Willis. You got the original judge acting inappropriate. He had to recuse himself. Even if they had went to trial and lost, they had so many issues that they could raise on appeal, that it probably was going to end up being a plea bargain situation anyway. If not, he was going to beat it. That's the truth. I respect all who didn't tell. Now that he's home, where does this leave Little Woody, who's turned into a online celebrity? Little Woody is funny as hell. I ain't gonna lie, funny as hell. I believe a lot of the shit that makes us laugh with these country cats is that they country, the way they talk and shit like that. It's funny. It's funny. The same thing with Charleston White. He get away with a lot of shit because he country. The way that he talk, he sound like a country Bama and shit. And it's fucking hilarious. The feds ain't picking this up. Washed it. They washed this like it was clean. I don't think it was a fumble, Gully. You know, all they want is a conviction. If you're looking at it from that perspective, she got what she wanted. They got a high profile conviction, and he's under so much fucking paper that he probably gonna go back to jail. And they probably sitting around the table this morning like it's only a matter of time. He not gonna stop smoking weed. He not gonna stop taking pills. He not gonna stop hanging out late at night. He 33 years old. He got a lot of money and shit. Niggas that got money, when you young and you got money like that, you get to thinking that you above the law and shit like that. Oh, they ain't gonna lock me up for this. We seen Meek Mill trying to, live life on probation and parole. He couldn't do it. Ended up in a penitentiary. Go to my website, therealdribble.com or pa-knit.com, and you can get knitted too, man. These is going out this morning. Make sure you go hit up the website, man. Get you one too. Thug music is going to be interesting to hear without the drugs and alcohol. It's crazy that they can tell him, now that you want have probation and parole stipulations, that you can't rap about certain shit after just now trying to prosecute him for some of the shit that he was saying. It's like you got zero rights to freedom of speech. Zero rights to freedom of speech. That's crazy. But if you under the stipulations of probation and parole, I understand that part. But before being convicted, to use what he said on a song, that's just crazy. He got terms to work with Gunna. That's what he asked for. And his stipulations, he can't promote gangs in any way or take pictures doing anything with his fingers. So Woody and Gunna told, and Thug is still free. She praying he don't make it in the White House. Philly Blumberg, go to my website, pa-knit.com. Salute. Good morning. Which cities is up in here this morning? Just giving y'all some details on how the conviction of the defendant, the top defendant in this YSL case, how it ended. He got away. He got away. He lucky, man. He lucky he was able to get away. A lot of niggas is going to fucking jail and gonna be stuck there. You know what I mean? This YSL shit could have ended. He could have ended up in the same position as ARAB, 45-year sentence. You know what I'm saying? So quit believing everything the internet say. Gunna ain't told on nobody, and neither did Woody. There's way around the weed like Delta 9. All he need is weed prescription, then it's legal. Yeah, it's niggas smoking weed on parole. That's true. But I just wanted to run those details of, the conviction by y'all. I just told y'all what led to the plea deals, and it was basically because it was going to end up being a fucking mistrial. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be able to unring this bail, Your Honor. Nicole Westmoreland, a lawyer for Nichols, said in asking for a mistrial. Whitaker suggested she would consider a mistrial motion. That was the judge. They fucked up. That's just what it is and shit. That's just what it is. The state ain't proficient, and I think this is the first time that they try to actually use a state RICO statute to prosecute street gangs and shit. So they wasn't as sharp when it came to executing this shit. But the next niggas that get this shit going to jail. The next niggas that run up on this state RICO case in Georgia, they probably gonna get licked. I gotta get up out of here. I gotta ship some knits. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get the notifications. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at ILLMATIC _. Bob said this one shook him. Yeah. It woke everybody up. Them niggas that's in them gangs in Atlanta, they gotta know that they gotta change the way that they moving. And them prosecutors, they now know what they got to do to put your ass down and know what not to do. So, again, Young Thug is free this morning, probably up in some pussy right now and having a nice meal and continuing his life, but he's under like 20 years of fucking probation and parole, so you never know. We seen niggas try to walk off probation and parole, living the lifestyle, and it don't always go to the way that someone would like it to. Anyway, I'm up out of here. Y'all have a wonderful morning. Y'all catch me later on. I got fresh content coming for y'all all day today. I got behind the scenes footage of Osborne's new music video with the Heat Makers that drops today at 7 p.m. I got the behind the scenes footage that I'm gonna upload today. I just uploaded a new video of Shaheem with Inspector Deck, produced by Diamond D. Make sure y'all check that joint out and continue to look for my dope uploads from the dribble. Peace.